Shamrocks play host to the Delta Islanders. We'll start by introducing the visiting roster for Delta. Starting goaltender number 30, Jack Burns. Number 1, Doran Bodo. Number 4, Keelan McAllis. Number 7, JJ Milne. Number 8, Zach Milne. Number 9, Isaiah Gill. Number 10, Devin Verk. Number 11, Vaughn Pinchin. Number 14, Holden Johnson. Number 16, Elijah Gill. Number 17, Evan Neves. Number 18, Ryland Weisbrod. Number 19, Michael Burt. Number 20, William Bocalis. Number 21, Ben Eckert. Number 23, Adam Cole. Number 25, Jeff Wardle. Number 26, Carter McIntyre. Number 28, Joshua Janda. And number 29, Dryden Miro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome your victorious Shamrocks. Starting with today's starting goaltender, sponsored by Island Jump Solutions, 00, Matthew Dennis. Number 30, Ryan Orbay. Sponsored by Downey Projects and Can-Am Projects, number 5, Dylan Anderson. Sponsored by Good Time Days Fishing Charters and Island Spray Foam, number 12, Phoenix Eves. Sponsored by Ash Mountain Construction, number 13, Tommy Hoschel. Sponsored by CG Forensics and Cam Trucks, CCTV Inspections Limited, number 14, Dane Kinney. Number 24, Oliver Pemberton. Sponsored by Kirby's and 17 Mile Club, number 26, Jordan Alexander. Number 28, Braxton Brown. Number 31, Parson Shahi. Sponsored by Teletechnologies and Mac Renovations, number 36, Landon Lockwood. Number 38, Jack Wade. Sponsored by Erdheim Excavating and CCM Construction, number 51, Aiden Rintoul. Sponsored by Clark Heating and Cooling and Benefield Construction, number 57, Hunter Clark. Sponsored by Jane S. Hawken and Fortis BC, number 64, Wyatt Pickup. Sponsored by Race Rocks 3D, number 66, Ben Pollock. Sponsored by the McCrackens, number 77, Jax Hevenor. Sponsored by Gold Star, number 88, Quinn Sutton. Sponsored by J-Pod Properties, number 91, Quinn Craig. And sponsored by Frontline Reefer Care, number 97, Ronan London. Your victorious Shamrocks. Now, if you're able, please rise and remove your hats. The victorious Shamrocks would like to acknowledge with respect the traditional lands of the Lekwungen peoples. As guests on the lands of the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations, we would like to thank our hosts as we gather today to play the Creators Game. Now please remain standing for the Canadian National Anthem. Your officials for today's
Two teams coming off a pair of wins, but only one will leave on a winning streak of 3. The Delta Islanders find themselves in Victoria for a matinee matchup with the second placed and host Victoria Shamrocks. A win on the road could propel Delta into 3rd overall in the overall league standings, while a win for the home team could leapfrog them into 1st in the league. Welcome to BC Sports TV, ladies and gentlemen. Tino Farah here, your voice for this afternoon matchup between the Shamrocks and the Islanders, and we are just moments away from getting underway. So let's get you some starting goaltenders here, shall we? And we'll start off in hometown crease, wearing number 00, getting into his second start of the season, is Matthew Dennis. 1-0 on the year so far with an even goals against average of 7 and an .829 save percentage. 1 assist to go along with his name as well. Meanwhile, in the visiting crease, it will be number 30, Jet Burns. In his first year of junior action, has a solid record of 7-4, a goals against average of 7.52 and an .842 save percentage. The two netminders will watch on from across the floor as these two teams battle in between the lines. And we are just a moment away from the opening face-off. It'll be Wyatt Pickup taking the draw for Victoria, going against the likes of Dryden Merle for the Islanders. A jump from Delta as well as a jump from Victoria. They'll say no harm, no foul. And we are underway. A clean face-off win by the Islanders, and they will get the first touch of the game quickly going into the zone. Again, both these teams winning their last 2 straight wins. There's 2 straight starts, excuse me. And we'll look to build off of that. A bobbled play as the Islanders maintain possession. 10 on the shot clock now, rounding from behind the net. Wyatt Pickup going to watch his man from the far side corner. Pass to the middle, just off the mark. And chasing this one down for Victoria will be Quinn Cram. He's got a man up to play and finds him. Sutton on a 2-on-1, pass to the middle. Shot, great save, and an early start there for Burns. Chesting that one to the side, and Victoria will maintain possession. Here's Lockwood on the fresh 30. Uses the screen, finds some space, swing pass to the far side. They go high to low. Return feed to the near side was off the mark. Lockwood gets it, down low to the opposite crease. Shot in the glove, save by Burns. Rebound collected by Zach Milne. He'll sprint the floor himself. Gets around the lone forechecker, and now a big collision closing the gap was Phoenix Eves on the defensive side. But Delta remains in possession. 10 to shoot. Pass taken away by the aforementioned Eves. He's got a full head of steam and 1 man to beat. Gets around him, shot just off the shoulder, stick side of Burns, and the rebound collected again by Victoria. Ronan London had it for a moment, jarred free by a couple of defenders. He's going to keep after it himself, though, until eventually Delta will clear the zone. There's that early pressure again from the Shamrocks near the blue line, but the Islanders able to break free of that. In comes Verk. Shot clock down to 10, gets across, and he scores! An early strike for the visitors as Devin Verk goes in alone, driving low past his man, and gets on top of the crease, finding his 12th goal of the year. An ideal start for the road team. Less than 2 minutes into the game, they're up 1-0. Clean face-off win from Pickup right to his own stick, and following that up by a pass over center into the offensive sticks. How does Victoria respond? Dylan Anderson surveys far side feed, was over the mark, gets his own pass though, shot and another save by Burns, gloving that one to the near side corner, a hit from behind, and we will get a power play in favor of Victoria after a heavy collision along the corner boards. Jenner Chevrolet Buick and GMC of Victoria, BC is a proud sponsor of the beautiful game of lacrosse. Are you in the market for an EV, a truck, a grocery getter, or a sports car? Look no further. And find their inventory online at jennershev.com. So the first power play of the game will go the way of Victoria. 27% coming into this one. Going up against the penalty killing unit of the Islanders, and it is the third best penalty killing unit as well at 81%. They get the play they want, but can't get the pass on target. That'll deflect off of Victoria's stick and go all the way down. Chasing this one will be Isaiah Gill. He'll start off in the far side corner. Looking for a short-handed offensive possession. He finds some space, retreating back to the center line. Got to be careful of that back overcall as he sends it down to the far side boards. Pass is too hot to handle, and Victoria can push pace the other way. One-on-one here on the power play as they go in alone, shoulder to side by Burns. You would have liked to see Victoria just pull that one out and get their power play back on. But they will look to their defense to get a stop here instead. The Islanders get their second look shorthanded in the offensive zone. Pickup takes away that shot lane, and we will get an interference call, it looks like, against Delta, ending that possession early. And now the Victoria power play will get their way back out onto the floor. First to touch will be the likes of Landon Lockwood. 21 goals on the year so far. Does he have another one in his stick now? He assumes his position in the near side shooter. Gets the ball sent to him now. Far side feed, big windup, big shot, just wide. Lockwood keeps another shot and another save by Burns. He'll hang on to the rebound himself. Wanted a defender to take it. Nunn decided to go along with that plan, so he'll throw it up the floor himself and just give it right back to the Shamrocks. Lockwood, first to touch, back over center. Was a 5-minute penalty to the Islanders, so that clock is now down to 2 minutes. So far, a successful kill for the Islanders. Perimeter work for Victoria. Pollock returns it to Lockwood. Shot saved again right into the crest of Burns, who falls backwards but makes the save nonetheless. Zach Milne takes a check from behind, falls in the pressure from Hunter Clark. Ball gets knocked free. Milne keeps after it. Now pickup comes in to close the gap. Zach Milne does a great job to get away from that and find a recipient of the pass near the center line, just throwing that one towards Matthew Dennis. It's his first action in a little while, and it is a soft bouncer towards his stick. Power play back out onto the floor, still a minute 15 to work with on the man advantage, as it is Morale in the box for Delta. Lockwood down low to the corner, pass just deflects off a stick, and that will go out of play. An unsuccessful power play thus far for Victoria, and the penalty is now down to under a minute. Elijah Gill sends it behind the net. Delta working from the far side. Ollie Pemberton closes the gap. Still working on his man. Shot clock down to about 5 seconds, breaking free through a triple team shot around a defender. Elijah Gill gets a tight angle. Shot stopped by Dennis. Rebound falls through to the middle of the floor. Victoria has a man up to play, and Phoenix Eves couldn't take it cleanly. He can turn this into a 2-on-1 if he's quick about it. Decides to turn back and get the power play back on for the remaining 15 or so seconds on the man advantage. Ben Pollock is the late man to join in. They get the pass across, off the mark again. Lockwood tries to grab it. The penalty's now down under 10 seconds. Lockwood battling for it and bats it out of play. Nothing going on the 5-minute power play for Victoria. And Dryden Morrell is standing and ready to head back out into the action. So a great start to the game for the Islanders. Got the first goal of the game and have now killed off a major penalty. And once again have the ball. We're back to 5-on-5 action. Shot clock down to 14. Working from the distance. Another pass, just deflected, taken away by Victoria. Nothing going on that set. But here come the Shamrocks, and a lone stop by Burns. A glove save sends the rebound to the corner, staring down the likes of Quinn Cram. He has the ball once again, taking it from the corner. He'll head off for a change after dishing to Alexander. Now Clark sidesteps his man. Shot well wide, gets his own rebound. On his wrong side, has a man in front. A shovel shot kicked aside by Burns. Now Kinney. Fresh 30 for Victoria. Alexander fakes the pass, looking for a target far side, finds one. Heavener steps into a shot just off the top of the shoulder of Jet Burns. Another save for the Delta netminder. Shot and a kick save there by Dennis. Again, his first action in a little while. There have been large gaps of time between Delta bids on target. Tough to stay sharp when you're not seeing a ton of rubber. But Matthew Dennis certainly doing his job here as we approach the midway mark of the first. Nice move through the middle. Shot, save by Burns. Rebound, batted free, back to the Delta crease. Burns has seen enough. He'll send it to a defender and send the Islanders back the other way in transition. Verk, the goal scorer, sends it down to the near side corner, working with Gill. Elijah Gill goes underneath, and a great shot, low to high, top right. Elijah Gill extends the lead to 2. And you'll see a great angle of it here on our broadcast as well. Like the angle that he saw, and he absolutely rips one to the top right. A massive goal for Delta, and the 5th of the year for Elijah Gill. Just a seeing eye shot and an absolute cannon. So 2-0 now with about 11:35 to play in the first period. Victoria, still looking for their first tally of the afternoon. See if it comes here. Shot from distance, low save by Burns. Rebound collected by Ronan London. He's got a man streaking down on the side, just avoiding the crease was Dylan Anderson, but able to maintain possession. Gets around a second defender, swing pass far side. Shot off the post. And again, Anderson will collect and earn a fresh 30 for his team. Following the reset, pass over to Lockwood, deflected, goes off of Anderson and towards the goal. And that'll be an interference call now against Victoria. So Delta escapes without allowing a goal and gets back over center. Victoria's been so good on home floor. 5-1 record from the Q Center. The lone loss coming to the new Westminster Salmon Bellies earlier in the season. Meanwhile, Delta with a 3-3 road record and trying to find themselves in 3rd overall in the league standings with a win here this afternoon. Lockwood couldn't handle the flip pass. That's going to elude everybody and go all the way back over center. So a free clear coming up for the Islanders, and they'll start off in the far side corner. First to touch will be the latest goal scorer in Elijah Gill. He'll park himself behind the net. Matthew Dennis watching him. Pass out front. Shot. Low save by Dennis. Rebound goes all the way towards the blue line, and Devin Verk will collect. Fresh 30. Islanders electing to go lefty strong this time around. Gill had the shot selection loaded up, but lost the ball before he could fire. This time he does almost the exact same shot as he scored on a couple of minutes ago. This time ricochets off the far side corner and goes all the way back into the Islanders' end of the floor. Jet Burns getting a quick warning from the official who wanted that sent over to one corner. Burns sends it to the other instead. Now Anderson stares down on him, puts it off the post over the shoulder of Jet Burns, but cannot beat the goaltender's best friend. Now 9:35 to play in the first. Pass through the middle. Great defensive stick check courtesy of Aiden Rintoul, but Delta able to maintain possession. In comes the double team from Victoria. Just avoiding the crease was Keelan McCallis. Takes a high hit from behind, and the ball goes the other way. Sutton, one man in front of him, sends it over to the far side. Ben Pollock, the first man into the play. The Victoria captain waits for reinforcements. They find their way onto the floor now. Late man in will be Dylan Anderson. He'll try to create some space for Lockwood. Now far side feed. Righty's going to go to work. Lockwood wants it back, gets it now. Shot off the Islanders logo on Jet Burns. An easy save for him. And here comes Delta quickly the other way in transition. Shot, stick save by Dennis. Bodies wrestled to the floor, but a save nonetheless. Here's Hunter Clark. Pass finds the stick. Jordan Alexander. Flip pass intended for Hunter Clark as those two try a little give and go. Unsuccessful in that attempt. Here's Elijah Gill. He's got a man down in Verk to his right. Gill stumbles back to his feet now. Verk has it once again. Down to the near side corner. Shot clock down to 10. Far side skip feed. Hoshall works on his man. Unable to break free is Weisbrod. Gets a shot off. Dennis makes the save. Rebound ricochets back into the crease. And a long stretch pass. Tried to connect with Parson Shahai. Deflects off of his stick and taken away by Delta. 7:40 remaining in the first. Islanders still lead 2-0 on the road. Nice drive, individual effort, going in alone. Great save by Dennis as the ball falls down to his stick. Another great look on a low drive for the Islanders. And Victoria essentially just gives it right back on the breakout pass intended for Rintoul. Just could not find possession. Ben Pollock on the back check. But Delta breaks free again. Zach Milne going to head off for a change and get the last member of the offense on. There's a shovel shot spinning towards the goal for Elijah Gill. Shot clock down to 8. Shot from distance. Shoulder save by Dennis. He'll hang on to the rebound himself. And Phoenix Eves will look for the offense. Here's Lockwood. Perimeter pressure from the Islanders defenders. Lockwood finds some space. Far side feed. Shot. Saved with the stick of Burns. It's been a steady presence here early for the Islanders. A long stretch feed. The goaltenders will just play pass as Burns sends it straight down to Matthew Dennis, giving it right back to the Victoria offense. Sutton finds a man streaking through. Anderson dives across and can't put it on goal before his feet cross the line. That'll be a crease call, ending that possession early. Pickup. Absorbs a slash. No call from the official. Eckert. Down low to Verk. Shot clock down to 10. Verk drives low through the middle. Takes a shot while getting crunched and forced down to the corner. Here comes Victoria the other way in transition, and alone scores! Shahai finally gets Victoria on the board. As Verk had the chance on one end of the floor for the Islanders, turns into transition the other way for Victoria, and Parson Shahai strikes first for the Shamrocks. 5:47 to play. It's now 2-1. A good answer from the Shamrocks. Do they have a little bit more as we approach the late stages of this first? They'll have to get a stop here to start things off, though, off the face-off violation. Verk lost it on the hop. In comes the pressure, and he'll take an interference call now as Victoria will push base the other way. Sutton, wrong side, shot and a save by Burns. He'll fall down to take away any danger. That ball rolling towards the goal line, sending his team back the other way. Burt, far side feed. Lefty strong once again now for the Islanders, sending it down low to the far side corner. Shot, a twister, stopped by Dennis. Delta trying to pick 5-hole early and often here on the Victoria netminder. Unable to do so that time around. Interference call goes against Victoria, keeping possession in favor of the Islanders. Burt, fake shot, far side feed. Shot kicked aside by Dennis. Rebound now collected by Victoria. Thought it was going to be taken away by Delta, but instead, here comes Shamrocks on a breakaway again, and another glove save by Burns. Stumbled, but still taking away so much of the net. Coming from the Ridge Meadows Burrards Minor Lacrosse Association and into his first year of junior eligibility here. Drafted, of course, in the offseason by these Islanders. It's Gill. Jump shot goes wide. Shot clock down to 3, so they will just send it towards the goal from distance. Eves sent his man falling to the floor on some pressure near center, and Victoria gets back over into the offensive zone. Tommy Hoschall finds Dylan Anderson slowly into the offensive zone. Fake shot, gets around the second defender. Had a lane, but circled back instead. Shot, scores! Tie game off the Ronan London bid. With 3:48 to play, we're all squared up at 2. The decision to circle back by Anderson ended up being the right one, as he found a man in Ronan London with even more space than what he had. Swing pass back to the middle of the floor, and he just fires one stick side past Burns. Brand new game here, ladies and gentlemen. 3:40 to play in the first. London had possession, but a good stick check from behind takes away the ball. Now Isaiah Gill will go back. Pass through the middle of the floor, deflected by Rintoul. They keep after it. Fake shot, scores! My, oh my. Check out these hands. This time, courtesy of Isaiah Gill. Just his second goal of the year, but with hands like that, you'd imagine he'd be up to 20 already. Tiptoeing his way across the crease and just outweights Matthew Dennis. In the blink of an eye, the Islanders find themselves back up by 1. Another face-off win by the Islanders. Gill, shovel feed, finds Verk on the run. Returns now to Gill. Shot, shoulder, saved by Dennis. An acrobatic one at that, stepping across to his left. Now Victoria in transition, stopped by Burns. Now a yard sale there as Lockwood strips his man of the ball, spinning underneath on Eckert, finding some room on the near side. 2:40 remaining in the first. In comes Alexander, over to Lockwood. Has some space, steps into a shot, shoulder to side by Burns. Rebound collected by a defender. Quick up the floor. Zach Milne retreats, connects with the official. He's going to keep after it and battle. 2 versus 2 right now, as a couple of Shamrocks came in to help, but Delta able to maintain possession. Stick check from behind, courtesy of Phoenix. Eves sends his man falling to the floor. And the shot clock does expire. Nothing too dangerous coming on that Islanders possession. So we're now down to 2 minutes to play in the first. Delta leading 3-2. That ferry ride home feels a lot longer if you leave with a loss. So pace of play is huge here for Delta. Shot taken away and caught by the Islanders captain. Neves goes in himself. Shot shoulder to side by Dennis. Gets the chicken wing out on the glove side. Neves had some daylight available in the top left. Now Clark skips his way, switches hands, sends it back over to Lockwood, stumbles but finds his footing, spinning away from the pressure. Swing pass over to Pollock. Tried to return it over to Clark, taken away again by the Islanders. Sticks in lanes, and now they go the other way again. Diving on the back check was Lockwood. Dennis made the save regardless. But that's an effort that the Victoria coaching staff will be pretty pleased with on the back check by Landon Lockwood. Down to a minute remaining in the first. Anderson, first to touch here for Victoria. Shot clock down to 13. Anderson comes around the screen. Right down the lane, shot, short side, wide. London gets the rebound, a twister stopped by Dennis. Victoria battling for this, looking for a reset. Alexander absorbs the check, into help comes Dylan Anderson. Finds his way behind the net. Forced into the corner. Thought about the shovel feed, now gets it off. Couldn't get the shot cleanly, though, as the Islanders again deflect another pass. Victoria keeps sending it towards the center line, but the recipient was unaware, and that'll be a back over call now. Delta possession with 15 seconds to go. Tiptoeing the line. Bobbled pass up for grabs. Victoria just bats it towards their bench. Now Elijah Gill, 5 seconds to play. Shot blocked. Can Victoria get one last shot? Phoenix Eves wanted it, but couldn't get the pass cleanly, and that will take us towards the first intermission. Strong start by the Islanders, who find themselves up by 1, 3-2, heading into the second period, and we will step aside for the time being. Don't go too far. We're going to be right back in about 10 minutes' time. You're watching Victoria Junior B Tier 1 Lacrosse live on BC Sports TV.
Hello and welcome back. It's halftime. More than enough time for you to check out our eShop.
We offer complete sticks, strung heads, unstrung heads, or fully customized sticks with the armor mesh.
Stick around for second half action, and thanks for checking out our eShop.
Welcome back inside the Q Center here, ladies and gentlemen, as we are just about 30 or so seconds away from the start of the second period. A second period where the visiting Junior B Tier 1 Islanders lead the hometown Shamrocks 3-2 through 20 minutes of play. Goals coming from Devin Verk, Elijah Gill, and Isaiah Gill for the road team. Meanwhile, it was a couple of late strikes from Victoria that got them back into it. Of course, followed by another response from the Islanders. But your Victoria goal scorers being Ronan London and Parson Shahai. And they'll need some more of that from a few more of their guys if they want to beat the likes of Jet Burns, who's had a very strong start to this game, as has Matthew Dennis, but Burns certainly saw the bulk of the action, especially considering the 5-minute major power play that Victoria had for a bulk of that period, one in which they were unsuccessful in cashing in on. Interference call following the face-off goes the way of Victoria, so they'll get the first offensive set of the period, starting off on the far side, letting the lefties go to work. Righty strong on this set. Excuse me, very righty strong on this set. Just one lefty, and it ends up working as Victoria strikes early. Just 28 seconds into the frame. They get things tied up at 3, courtesy of Dane Kinney. Usually you just send out one lefty or one righty for the purpose of an ISO matchup. But this time around, the ball stays on the near side for the righties to go to work, and Kinney strikes early. Another face-off win for the Shamrocks. Do they have some more, as Pollock was the intended recipient off the mark? But he has the ball once again parked from behind the net. Now he'll round the corner, looking for a shot around a screen, shoulder to side, rebound collected by Lockwood. Gets forced into the end boards, but grabs a fresh 30 for his team. Heavener skips it over to Lockwood. Had the drive off ball, didn't get it. Kinney, shot, scores! Back-to-back goals for Dane Kinney, and Victoria finds their first lead of the game. How's that for an answer? Dane Kinney steps into one from almost the same spot as his previous goal less than a minute ago. And in the blink of an eye, the roles are reversed. We came into this period with Delta leading by 1. Now just over a minute in, it's the home team with their first lead. One of the goal scorers for the Islanders, Isaiah Gill, gets sent somersaulting into the boards. Tommy Hoschall going to take a call. Once Victoria has possession here, if they are able to get a touch. But for now, Delta goes 6-on-5 with Burns on the bench. Shot blocked by pickup. That'll go off of his helmet and out of play, and Tommy Hoschall will head off to the sin bin. Pro Caliber Lacrosse is BC's premier travel and development program, and they have fall registration opening up July 1st. Their year-round programming for boys and girls provides an unmatched environment to develop life skills, and achieve personal goals. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the PCL family. Visit ProCaliberLacrosse.com. So the Islanders will work it around the perimeter. Their first opportunity here on the power play, and it will be a 4-minute for checking from behind. Elijah Gill, no looker to the near side. Low shot blocked by Rintoul. Got his foot on that one. Now shot clock under 10 seconds. Near side feed, skip down low, shot, scores! How about that pass, high to low, and the Islanders tie the game and now will remain on the power play. The feed from that shooter spot Goes down low to the opposite crease. And it will be Carter McIntyre. Just patiently receiving that one and floating it over the stick side shoulder of Matthew Dennis. And Delta's going to go right back to work here on the power play, earning possession on the following faceoff. Weisbrod's going to run point on this power play after just getting an assist on that last power play, or excuse me, on that last power play goal. Now he'll head back on the defensive end after the Dennis save. Long stretch pass all the way down the floor that'll bounce out of play. And the aforementioned Weisbrod will start off possession on his own side of center. Gets it over with a second to spare on the 8-second count. Penalty still has 1:20 remaining. So Elijah Gill from the far side corner. Weisbrod sends it to the near side. Receives it once again from the point as they just work it around the outside. Now they initiate their motion. Gill over to Weisbrod. Shot. He's looking for that top left corner. Was off the mark. Gill steps into one, shoulder to side. Rebound collected, but unable to avoid the crease was Vaughn Pinchin. And Victoria will head up the floor. Clark out-muscles his man, but it turns into an interference call. Now the Hochal penalty is down to 50 seconds remaining. Weisbrod back into the play. Has the ball at the point. Sticks and lanes here for the Shamrocks penalty killers. Shot partially blocked that time around by a defender down low on the Elijah Gill bid. Now Vaughn puts it back to the point. Weisbrod had the pass taken away, turns into, or at least might turn into a breakaway here for Victoria if they can maintain possession. Bounce shot, just got enough of it, or just getting enough of it was Jet Burns to send it to the corner. Almost picking 5-hole was Quinn Sutton. He'll head off for a change now as the power play back out onto the floor. But Hochal will step back into the play in about 5 or so seconds. Elijah Gill at the point. Now back to 5-on-5. Hochal quickly gets back in, taking away Gill from the middle. Weisbrod flip pass through the middle, runs into a defender in Hochal. Right place, right time, out of the box and right into the play. Now Dennis sends it up for Eves. Couldn't get a handle. Gets a slash after the play as he has some words for his defenders. Heading back towards the bench. Good stick check by Tommy Hochal. Another turnover and an opportunity to go in alone. Shot, great save by Gill. Hochal lost possession, didn't know he lost it. Just tries to run some interference. No call there. Victoria keeps possession. Pass through the middle. Anderson got the shot off, but Burns shut the door and he'll send it quickly up the floor to Isaiah Gill. Lob passed over to Elijah Gill through the middle. Shot blocked by Hunter Clark on the defensive end. Again, Victoria has a man up the play in Sutton. Going in alone, another breakaway. Stopped by Jet Burns once again. He's already seen 3 breakaways in this period alone and continues to stand tall and keep this one tied at 4. Now Delta will slow it down. Sending it to the near side. McIntyre, one of the goal scorers here for the Islanders, creates some space. This man comes over top, low save by Dennis. Quick up the floor, connects with Braxton Brown. Finds some space along the near side. Looking for a man off the bench, finds one. And now a delayed call coming up against Delta. Dennis onto the bench. 6-on-5 set coming up here for the Shamrocks. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Kinney down to the corner. Hevener behind the net. Lockwood to Anderson. Shot saved and absorbed by Jet Burns. And Victoria will go to the power play for the first time since that major back in the first period. Extreme Threads is your one-stop shop for customized team or company apparel, embroidery, screen printing designs, and sublimated team uniforms. Now offering tents, banners, flags, decals, signs, and more. And you can check them out online, extremethreads.ca. So an opportunity now for Victoria to grab the lead again. This time on the power play, and it looks like we have an equipment issue here for Jet Burns. He'll look for some assistant on the bench and get an extended break now for the Islanders. So a little extra time here for the Shamrocks to discuss their look. A quick fix there for the Islanders goaltender. He'll head back towards his crease now. And Ben Pollock will head back towards the center line. Going to run quarterback on this power play for his team. London quickly sends it down low. Kinney has it back to the point. Far side feed now over to the lefties. Anderson behind the net. London looking for a target. Skip feed over to Lockwood. He's got Ben Pollock back at the point. Wines fires, shot blocked and taken away. Off to the races is Neves. Shorthanded breakaway, puts it wide. Elijah Gill takes it off the rebound from the end boards. He'll circle back from the corner. In comes the double team. Ben Pollock comes in to help as well. Gill gets away from that. Stick check courtesy of Verhagen, but Gill hangs on to possession. Gets the shot clock down to about 5 seconds. He'll head back towards the center line. Now find some space and will lob it into the corner just before the shot clock expires. Penalty clock now down to about a minute. As Pollock slowly back into the offensive zone. Late man joining in will be Ronan London as the power play is back in full force here. We're just working it around the outside. Kinney back to the point. Now they start their motion. Over to Lockwood. Shot blocked and deflected. Kinney gets the rebound. One hand on his stick. He'll find some space. No, they'll say it was a save by Burns, so Victoria gets the reset. Now Kinney, far side off the crossbar. Anderson had some daylight there, but cannot beat the post. So another reset for Victoria on the power play for another 28 or so seconds. Anderson tiptoes his way to the middle before sending it over to Lockwood. Lockwood shot, low save by Burns. He'll look up the floor for a target. Floats one near center. All the way down. Milne cannot take it cleanly, but the penalty clock now down under 10 seconds. So about to return back to 5-on-5 action. Jax Hevener will be the late man joining, has some space, far side feed. Lockwood steps into a shot, kicked aside by the right toe of Jet Burns. Fresh 30 for Victoria. Anderson gets around the first check. Shot off a Delta defender and all the way back into the Delta bench. Kinney could not throw it on target, but does turn into a reset either way. Victoria looking to regain the lead. High hit into the end boards, and Victoria has a man down in Jordan Alexander. Back to his feet now. Looks like he'll be all right and will shake it off. Earns his team another fresh 30 to work with. Kinney from behind the net. Looking for a target. Finds one in Jax Hevener. Shot again caught by a Delta defender. Heavy forecheck from the Shamrocks. Shot clock didn't start until a couple of seconds gone, so Delta able to break free, but they give it right back to the Shamrocks. Back into the offensive zone. London wanted the pass. He was free in the middle, didn't get it free to him. Hevener gets the shot off and just puts it wide. Shot clock down to 15. Kinney waits for the screen, comes over top, skip feed down low to the crease. That'll be an interference call. A little overzealous on the pick was Jax Hevener, ending that possession a little bit early, and Delta will get the free clear. Elijah Gill is going to be the first one to collect near the center line. And the first Delta possession in a little while will be initiated. Near side feed Driving low, runs into a second defender though. Gill tried to take it off the hop, taken away by Rintoul. And we're gonna get a Victoria penalty. No, we're gonna get a couple of penalties here, it looks like. One either way, so we'll remain 5-on-5 on the offsetting calls. It'll be Hunter Clark for Victoria and Devin Verk for the Islanders. 2 minutes each on the offsetting slashing calls. And we'll remain 5-on-5 here. Far side feed finds Jordan Alexander right back out there after a heavy collision on his last shift. Tries to help Dylan Anderson create some space. Those two cannot come up with the loose ball. Now Alexander forces his man into the boards, and that'll be an 8-second count going against the Islanders. On the Victoria forecheck, that'll earn themselves another possession. Now 9:50 remaining in the second period. Still tied at 4. Shot saved by Jet Burns. He'll leave the ball near his feet and then send his team the other way, but a low pass was off the mark, deflects off the official, unintentionally running a little bit of interference, and Elijah Gill comes in to collect. He'll leave back near the point, finding Rylan Weisbrod. Wanted to send it back to Gill, instead sends it down low to the corner, was deflected by a defender, and an opportunity here for Victoria, a 2-on-0 as Sutton goes in alone, stopped by Burns. It's the second breakaway of the period for Sutton, but again, cannot solve the Delta netminder. Now the Islanders send it to the near side. Again, letting the lefties go to work, spinning underneath. This time will be Carter McIntyre. Shot saved by Dennis. McIntyre gets his own rebound down low. Gill stopped by Dennis. Delta coaching staff screaming for their offense to use the 30 here on the reset. They look to do exactly that. They have a man cutting through, cannot get the pass free, and now another breakaway in this period for Victoria as Eves goes in and puts it wide. No, they'll say just off the cuff of the glove of Jet Burns. Delta wanted a turnover on the interference call going against Victoria. They will not win that argument, and the Shamrocks will keep possession. London sends it to the near side. Fake shot, cutting through the middle, in alone, scores! What an effort by Parson Shahai to again grab the lead here for Victoria on his second goal of the game. Takes a ton of contact from a couple of defenders up high. A third one comes in looking for the booming body check. But Shahai absorbs some of that contact and reclaims the 1-goal advantage. 5-4 now with 7:57 remaining in the second.
Shamrocks roll with his second of the game.
Face-off win for the Islanders sends Gill back into the offensive zone. Low shot, skips just wide. Rintoul's going to chase it down as it rolls over center. Another breakaway here. Shot saved by Jet Burns. And that'll be a crease violation going against Dylan Anderson. And Rintoul will look to again take it away. He had a clean look, but it deflects off his stick. Rolls into the near side corner. Now the Islanders going to battle for it, but taken away by Sutton. Quinn Sutton finds a man far side into the corner. Lockwood back to the point. Ronan London has Ben Pollock to his left. Gives it to him now. The Victoria captain on the flip. Intended for London. A little bit too high to receive that one cleanly, and the track meet continues. Now Isaiah Gill looking for his second, but a great back check by Dylan Anderson takes away that chance. Don't think Isaiah Gill even saw him until he was already on his back. Victoria remains up by 1. 6:40 to play in the second. Now a wrestling match as Hoschall had his stick held but takes his man down regardless. Both fall to the floor, and it will be a holding call going against Delta. And this Victoria power play is brought to you by us at BC Sports TV. We're seeking advertising partners to help keep lacrosse free for everyone. We have a number of advertising opportunities ranging from penalties to periods, intermissions, or even title sponsorship. Together, we can craft a tailor-made package for you. You can contact us at the email on your screen right now, info@bcsports.tv. And let's create a partnership here, shall we? But for now, we have another Victoria power play, something they've been unsuccessful on to this point. Can they break that streak here? Twister pass over to Kinney. Shot saved by Burns. He'll let it fall down to his feet once again, sending his penalty killers the other way. Dryden Morrell gets over center, sends it down to Elijah Gill in the far side corner. He'll wait for the pressure to come in. The clock winds down to about 6 minutes remaining in the second. Gill gets around the first two defenders, finds himself in alone, scores shorthanded. What an effort by Elijah Gill. The Gill brothers have come to play here, now cashing in 3 of the 5 goals for the Islanders between both of them. Second of the game there for Elijah Gill, now up to 6 on the season. See, got around both defenders, sort of ended up on his wrong side, but still a good enough angle to get a shot off and pick stick side past Matthew Dennis.
Assistant number 29, Dryden Miro. And number 30, Jet Burns.
Now Delta will maintain possession, still shorthanded for just under a minute.
From Miro and Burns. Shorthanded at 14:03.
And Zach Milne content with just killing some clock here from the perimeter. Feed goes through the middle. Shot saved by Dennis. Lost where the ball was, but it fell in front of him. Now Tommy Hoschall is up to play. He drew the penalty. And now he'll collect in the offensive zone. On the power play for another 30 or so seconds here as Ben Pollock collects. Again, Victoria unable to cash in on the variety of power plays they've had in this game to this point. Lockwood looks for a pass through the middle, finds one. London puts it off the toe of Jet Burns. Now the chippiness picking up behind the play, and Kinney will draw an interference call going against the Islanders. So the Victoria power play with maybe one last opportunity, down to about 7 seconds until Isaiah Gill will step out of the box. They'll let the clock just start to wind down here. See, comes out of the box now. Back to 5-on-5 we go. Anderson to Lockwood. Skip feed over to London. Shot wide. Rebound will ricochet off the end boards. And Isaiah Gill is going to chase it down on the back overcall. Now he'll head off for a change as it will be Islanders possession. And they'll start off, looks like, in the near side corner for the first man to touch. And it will be Von Pinchin. And the officials requesting a wipe right in front of the Islanders bench.
The next home game for the Junior B Shamrocks is 2 weeks from today, June 22nd.
Quickly solve that issue.
Right here at the Cube Center.
Now the Delta bench sharing some words with the official. Not quite sure what they're unhappy about, but get back to the action now as it is Islanders possession. They'll work it over to the far side. Righty's going to work. Watch from the perimeter by Hunter Clark. Near side feed, a kick save by Dennis. Rebound collected by Delta. Weisbrod collects the pass along the near side. Waits for a screen, sends it back over to the righties to go to work. Closing the gap again is Clark. keeping his man to the outside. Wise Broad. Again, returns it to the righties. Shot clock down to about 5. Low save by Dennis, dropping down to his knees. He'll send that up near center. Whistle behind the play, and they will give possession in favor of Victoria. Must have been an interference call there or something. Didn't quite see it, but the official behind the play clearly did. And the Shamrocks will start from the near side corner. Now taking it behind the net will be Jordan Alexander. Rounding the corner, looking for a target. Has some space, now sends it to Jax Heavener along the near side. Far side feed on the skip pass. Anderson sails it just wide. Heavener takes it off the end boards. Fake shot, now driving low, runs into a second defender on the blind shot there, courtesy of Jack Wade. Blocked by a defender and taken away by Delta. Isaiah Gill leaves near center. Game clock down to 3 minutes to play here in the second. Now Gill looking for the hat trick, stopped by Dennis. He'll again look up the floor for the quick breakout pass. Finds one in Parson Shahai, who joins Dane Kinney here on hat trick watch for Victoria. He's gonna stay in play after a quick defensive shift. Then lobs it over to Lockwood, cross floor. Lockwood comes over top, has some room, steps into a shot, deflected by a defender. Rebound goes over to the far side. Now Milne had hopes of taking it cleanly and looking up the floors. The Islanders actually still have a man up. And Alexander took another heavy collision, and he's going to draw a call once again. So another Victoria power play coming up on the cross-checking call. This one will go to Jack Wardle, sitting for 2 or less here. So now 2:20 remaining in the second. Another opportunity for Victoria to try to reclaim the lead. If anything, the power play to this point has kind of ended some momentum that's been in favor of the Shamrocks. But you got to imagine one of these times those fortunes will change. Kinney puts it high towards the collarbone, of Jet Burns. Has a quick word with the official. Looks like he's a little bit shaken up, but play will resume. Now back to his form. Pass intended for Ronan London, and now they're going to get the whistle as Jet Burns is shaken up after that high shot. Might have just caught him underneath the mask, drops down to a knee. And the trainer is going to come out onto the floor to take a look, but you can see Jet Burns from here wincing after that one. And during the delay, we'll get a quick wipe on the floor as well. Burns taking a look at his throat guard there. I wonder if there's some damage after that high shot. But gets a pat on the shoulder from their trainer. And he'll put his gear back on. So it looks like he'll be all right for the time being. Just 1:41 remaining in the period until he can get an extended breather in the Delta dressing room. And he has been one of the key figures for this Islanders team throughout this season. Again, a 7-4 record on the year so far for Jet Burns, a 7-5 record for the Islanders as a whole. So just one lone start for a goaltender not named Burns for the Islanders. Now a shot again blocked by the Delta penalty killers, and they'll go quickly the other way, but Tommy Hoschall forces his man to the corner. Just 1 minute remaining in the penalty to Wardle. Stumbling down to the floor was Evan Neves. Now Elijah Gill. Shot well wide off the corner boards. That'll be a back over call against Delta. So down to 1:04 remaining in the period. Penalty down to 44 seconds.
1 minute. Last minute of play in the second period.
Pollock from the point. Now Kinney, skip feed. Lockwood, sidearm shot blocked by a defender. Now under a minute, 45 seconds remaining in the period. Possession Victoria. Shot clock down to about 5 seconds. Pollock from the point over to Lockwood. Now they get their motion through the middle. Pollock. They had some net available there as Burns didn't know where it was, but instead the Islanders will go alone. Short-handed breakaway stop by Dennis. And now Phoenix Neves will get it over center. Another expired power play for the Victoria Shamrocks, where they're unable to capitalize. Now just 12 seconds to play in the period. Back to 5-on-5 action, we will go. Lockwood, sidearm shot, another high save, this time off the mask, and then they score on the rebound. 3.5 seconds remaining in the period, and Dylan Anderson gives the home team the lead. Right off the cage, the rebound falls in front of the crease, and Johnny on the spot, Dylan Anderson cashes in, collecting his 25th goal of the year and putting the Shamrocks back on top with just a few seconds remaining in the period. So they escaped the penalty, but shortly thereafter, Victoria finds the back of the net, and that will close out our second period.
1956. Anderson unassisted at 1956.
Victoria through about 40 minutes of play here. They were down in the first period, but found their way back onto the score sheet here to start off the second, and now head towards the intermission through 40 minutes of action, leading 6-5. We're going to step aside for now for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be right back onto your screens for third period action. But don't go anywhere. You're watching Victoria Shamrocks Junior B Tier 1 action live on BC Sports TV.
Hello and welcome back. It's halftime. More than enough time for you to check out our eShop.
We offer complete sticks, strung heads, unstrung heads, or fully customized sticks with the armor mesh.
Stick around for second half action, and thanks for checking out our eShop.
Welcome back inside the Q Center here, ladies and gentlemen. Host of this Junior B Tier 1 matchup between the hometown Shamrocks and the visiting Delta Islanders, who find themselves down by 1, 6-5 through 40 minutes of action. And if you missed it off the top, both these teams coming off of a pair of wins, and only one can leave here with a 3-game winning streak. Delta's certainly had their looks. I would argue they've been a little bit more of the dominant team. Victoria has had the better of the chances, though, courtesy of just a ton of power plays, including a major power play back in the first period, and they've been mostly unsuccessful on their power plays. Actually, I think they've been entirely unsuccessful. Their last goal in the late stages, with about 3.5 seconds remaining in the second period, was almost a power play goal. It came just after a penalty had expired. Now Anderson goes in, trying to go over top of Jet Burns, who is back between the pipes after getting a little bit shaken up there at the end of the second period, but looks to be all right here. And that'll be an 8-second count going against the Islanders, negating what would have been their first offensive set of the period. And they'll look to get a defensive stop once again. And looks like they get it on the turnover by Hunter Clark, taken away by Isaiah Gill, but he gives it right back. Lockwood on the turnover, scores! The lead now is up to 2 for the first time in this game for the Shamrocks, as Lockwood was sort of just floating near the blue line, waiting for that pass to come across, and he read it perfectly, going it alone on Burns. And less than a minute into the game, Victoria extends their lead. Delta with a chance to answer back off of the violation on the faceoff. Gill goes in and stopped by Dennis. Lost the rebound for a second, but made the stop regardless. Flip pass from Sutton intended for Rintoul, just couldn't take it cleanly, and Burns will send it right back up the floor. Gill, the recipient of that stretch feed, takes a shot again, scored on a very similar looking take back in the first period. Dennis gets the better of this one. Now a bobbled pass for the Islanders. Taken away by Victoria. Another fast break here. So Rintoul's on his wrong side, wants the pass, but instead Quinn Cram will retreat away from some pressure. Now Rintoul sends it to Jordan Alexander. Finds a man streaking, far side, gets the pass through, gets the shot off, and just stopping it before it goes over the goal line was Jet Burns. It was bouncing towards the danger zone. Now a nice swim move through the middle, defended well though by Phoenix Eves. Swim move from the corner, ball gets jarred free. Dennis leaps for it, and he'll send it quickly up the floor. Hunter Clark waiting for it. Quickly gets over the center line. Clark from distance, far side feed, finds Ronan London, drives, had some room downhill, but turns back in the corner. Now Kinney, skip feed to Clark. Shot, a bouncer, goes wide and back over center. And Delta will start from the near side corner. Elijah Gill, skip feed, far side, shot by McIntyre, blocked by a defender. McIntyre keeps after it, takes a slash, and loses possession as Clark goes the other way. Got to be careful of that center line, and he gets free of that. Just here, the Delta coaching staff screaming yes over and over again. They like what they saw on the pressure near the center line, and it ends up being the right call, causing a turnover. The ball got sent into their own bench. Now Weisbrod being watched by Pickup. Pickup going to continue the pressure, this time on Michael Burt, who gets away and sends it over to the lefties to go to work. Low shot. Another block, this time from Victoria. They got a man up the plate, and they find him going in alone on Burns, who shuts the door, stick side. Shahai denied his hat trick tally. Now Verk, another one of the goal scorers here in this game from back in the first period for the Islanders. Pass to the middle, intended for Eckert, was off the mark. Ball deflects back into the Victoria crease. Rintoul was dumped, now back to his feet. And Phoenix Eves goes up the floor. Pass to the middle. Kinney scores! Make it 2 straight in the period for the Shamrocks, who have really found their offense here. And Dane Kinney finds his hat trick tally. Sells Jet Burns on the shot fake far side and brings it back to the near side top corner. Just shy of 4 minutes into the frame, the Shamrocks find themselves with their largest lead of the game. Pickup back out there for face-off duty, and he beats the likes of Dryden Morrell. Those two have battled all afternoon long. Now Quinn Cram has to get over the center line. Elijah Gill calling for the 8-second count. The official was unaware, it looked like, but Quinn Cram gets over center nonetheless and gets the offense back out onto the floor. Dylan Anderson drives low, spins back from the corner, finds London, who was loaded up before the ball got into his stick. And it ends up falling back into his own defensive end of the floor. First to touch for Delta will be Vaughn Pinchin. Goes low on Hoschall. Pinchin from the corner. Pass to the middle, intended for Gill, off the mark. Eve stumbles while collecting, and Eckert will keep after it. Going up against 2 Shamrocks. Wrestle down to the floor. Phoenix Eves took his man down, but possession will remain in favor of the Islanders. And Eves is going to take a slashing penalty here now. Just a penalty that you cannot take, as Eckert was heading towards the middle of the floor, but the whistle hadn't even gone yet. And now Phoenix Eves will sit for 2 or less, giving Delta an opportunity to get back into the game. This power play is brought to you by the Good Stick. Good Stick is the first lacrosse stick proudly manufactured in the European Union and sold at an affordable price. They've cut out all the middlemen. They're passing on those savings onto their customers. Check them out, thegoodstick.co. Delta will go to their first power play in a while. Down by 3, looking to chip away here. Pass goes to the far side, Pinchin, and alone, great save by Matthew Dennis, and Rintoul takes possession himself. Trying to muscle his way over the center line, does, but he's pinned in front of the penalty box. It was stuck in his stick, which was out of his hands. Cram keeps after it, but in comes the Delta captain. And Eves to take it away. He'll head off and get the power play back out onto the floor. Elijah Gill waits for the help of Weisbrod at the point. Skip feed over to Gill. Low shot off the corner boards. That's going to go all the way back over center. So nothing going in the first half of this Delta power play. Now down to 56 seconds until Phoenix Eves can step out of the sin bin. Dylan Anderson swims away from Gill. Pass intended for London. Couldn't take it cleanly. Now Delta going the other way, shorthanded on a 2-on-1. Gill tries to go low, stumbles back to his feet now, falls once again. Loose ball taken away by the Shamrocks as Sutton is going to go the other way with speed. He's got Eves in front of him. Evan Neves continuing to battle with his man as the ball gets jarred free towards the center line. Now Zach Milne will run onto it. He's got Lockwood on his back and Ben Pollock closing the gap. Now Evan Neves will collect. near the restraining line, and he'll wait for some help. Far side feed, shot clock down to 15. Penalty has expired, so Phoenix Eves will step back out onto the floor, and we'll go back to 5-on-5 action. Lead remains 8-5 in favor of the Shamrocks. Low shot looking 5-hole by Elijah Gill. Dennis shuts the door. And Shahai will get back into the offensive zone. On his wrong side, he'll dish from the corner. And looks like he'll stay and play an offensive shift here. London, a rising shot, stopped by the likes of Jet Burns again. Heavy collision in front of the Delta bench. But they maintained possession. Ben Eckert drives to the middle, wants the pass. Was all alone in front, but Victoria picks it off, courtesy of some nice hands by Jack Wade. Uses a screen by Rintoul. Wade through the middle, in alone, stopped. No, they'll say it goes wide. So Wade made a beautiful move to get through a couple of defenders and work his way to the middle of the floor. Here's Lockwood. Far side feed. Wade down to the corner. Skip feed intended for Anderson. Kept over on the far side. Now Lockwood, but the shot will expire. Excuse me, the shot clock will expire. Now quickly over center is Devin Verk. Fakes the drop pass. Lobs it over to the far side, but it was off the side glass. And ends up as a turnover and a fast break opportunity for Victoria, stopped by Burns. Long stretch feed. Finds a man up near center. Adam Hogue. Send it over to the far side. Now he'll head off for a change. Shot clock down to 15. Late man joining in is Weisbrod. Shot from downtown, saved by Matthew Dennis. Looked like that one gave him a little bit of trouble, but got enough of it to keep it away from danger. Now Phoenix Eves sends it back over center. A costly turnover. We'll see if it ends up being costly in the sense of a goal against. But it will be Delta calling a timeout here following the turnover. So good opportunity to remind you to give us a follow on all of our socials at BC Sports TV on Twitter and Instagram. And hit that subscribe button on YouTube as well. And hit that little bell icon as well beside the subscribe button if you want a notification every time we do go live. And we'll be here all summer long bringing you free lacrosse action here from the Q, Junior B Tier 1 and Junior A, as well as from the John Bailey Arena in Port Coquitlam, bringing you all of their home games as well. But if you want some more free lacrosse, keep your eyes tuned into all of our channels because we have another game coming up immediately following this one, a 4:30 start between the Junior A Shamrocks and the Junior A Coquitlam Adnaks, who have come into town. A rematch of the Junior A Lacrosse League finals from last year, as well as a rematch from just a couple of nights ago, Wednesday evening. The Shamrocks went into Coquitlam and lost that game rather handedly, courtesy of the Adnaks, looking for a little bit of revenge here at home this afternoon. But we got a game to get through here before we get to that one, as we're back underway and the Islanders keeping possession. Shot clock down to about 17 is Eckert looking for a shot lane. Comes over top. Gill was streaking through the middle, off ball. And a turnover will send Victoria the other way. A 2-on-1 in transition. Pickup with Clark. Shot from distance by Pickup. Saved by Jet Burns. Loose ball is up for grabs, and Jordan Alexander will come in to collect. Fresh 30 for Victoria. Working from the corner. Dylan Anderson sets a screen from up top. Ben Pollock collects from behind. Flip pass over to Alexander. Fake shot, driving low. Kicks it just wide to the short side. Now Wade gets bodied near the center line, ends up as a back over call. So under 10 minutes remaining in the third period, Delta possession down by 3. Burt working on his man, fakes the spin, now comes back over top, rounding the corner. Skip feed down low to Weisbrod. Now he comes over top of the screen. On his wrong side, takes the shot, narrowly misses. Had some room there as Dennis was stepping across over to his right, and the rebound goes back over center. Pass through the middle, deflected by an Islanders defender. Still up for grabs as Kinney comes in to help. Lockwood takes it away. And they do get the reset, but Lockwood falls as a couple of defenders came in to close the gap. Bodies colliding behind the play. Victoria keeps after it, though. And taking away possession is Parson Shahai. He'll get over center himself. Takes a hit from behind, falls, but negates the back over call. Jordan Alexander takes some contact as well, spins away. Lockwood. Far side feed finds Ronan London. There's a shot by Alexander through the middle. Second chance, stopped by Burns. Rebound falls all the way near the center line. That'll be a back over call as Lockwood, I don't think he realized that it was about to be a back over. He kind of slowed up a little bit, but now he'll head off. And Delta will look to cash in, but a deflected pass goes the way of Victoria. Sprinting over center, Sutton. Near side, finds Crump. Now Pollock, over to Sutton. Shot off the post. Rebound falls to Kinney, and he takes it off the bounce. Now Pollock. Just 4 Shamrocks on the floor. Now Lockwood will join the rush. But before he could get into the play, Jet Burns ended that possession early. Now Zach Milne. Working on Dylan Anderson. Lost the ball. Elijah Gill takes it away. He's got a man far side. Finds him. Dennis shuts the door. And Elijah Gill looks a little bit shaken up. His right arm just dangling as he heads off for a change here. And he's going to go right to the trainer. And that does not look good for Elijah Gill of the Islanders. Now Jordan Alexander finds his way to the corner. Pass over to Kinney on his wrong side. Switch hands for a moment. Shot clock now down to 5. Kinney circles from behind. Shot clock about to expire. Heavener got one off, shoulder to side by Burns, but the shot clock did indeed expire regardless, negating that opportunity. Now Isaiah Gill falls among the pressure from Hunter Clark. Eckert comes in to help him out and grabs possession. Rintoul closes the gap. Gill onto the bench. 6 on 5 for the Islanders on a delayed call coming up against Victoria. Pinchin waits for the late man. It will be Elijah Gill, so he's all right and back into the play. Shot, scores! Elijah Gill with a bullet from distance cuts the lead down to 2. Looked like an ugly injury just a moment ago, but ends up as the extra attacker with Jet Burns on the bench. Off the bench, onto the floor, and into the back of the net. Another low-to-high rip for Elijah Gill, and he has 3. Now 8-6 in favor of the home team. Delta earns possession following the face-off. And they'll quickly get back in a 2-on-1 in transition as Isaiah Gill sends it through to the middle. Shot by McIntyre. Rebound off the crossbar. Turnover. Isaiah Gill steps into a shot. Another one off the post. Back-to-back shots. Beat Matt Dennis, but cannot beat the Iron. That close to a 1-goal lead. Instead, Victoria able to find possession and get back into the offensive zone. Now Shahai leaves for Jordan Alexander. Jogging his way into the near side corner. Alexander, the lone lefty on this set for Victoria. They want an ISO matchup here. He has possession. Fake shot, trying to drive low, spins over top. Now he'll try low again. Great defense here by the Islanders to keep him to the distance. And Burns with a save on the shot from the outside. Now Milne over center. 5.5 remaining in the third period. Delta trying to cut the lead down to 1. Zverk sends it down low. Pass was not a good one, ends up on the cement. They keep after it though as Zverk can't handle it off of the double bounce. He goes behind the net, tries a shovel feed from behind, stopped by Matt Dennis. So he fishes this one out of his glove. And Phoenix Eves will get back over the center line. Rink wide feed over to the far side. Jax Hevener is going to drive through the middle. Off balls. Ronan London surveys from the far side. Tries to go downhill. Kinney off the screen through the middle. London couldn't find him. Now Dylan Anderson finds Landon Lockwood. He'll step into a shot. Labeled top left. Goes just wide and collected by an Islanders defender. Lobbed up the floor. Out of the reach of the intended target. So Victoria just takes it right back and sprints over center. Crum with a man on his back, spins away. Delta with some perimeter pressure. In comes Jack Wade. Near side to Alexander. Low shot stopped by Burns. And Dylan Anderson keeps after it, gets the loose ball himself. Wade, low shot, just wide. London collects. Toe drag goes underneath. Fresh 30, Victoria screaming for a timeout here, and they will get it with 3:52 to play and a fresh 30 to work with. Clock is certainly not the friend of the Delta Islanders, who need another stop here and need a couple of goals shortly thereafter. Again, a reminder, more lacrosse coming to your screens after this one. 4:30 start time between the Junior A Shamrocks and the Coquitlam Adanacs. These Junior B Shamrocks will be right back after it tomorrow afternoon as well. They'll be on the road and will head towards the Langley Event Center to take on the Thunder in some more T1 action. But the Delta Islanders will have to wait until next Friday for their next bit of game action, where they will head back home to take on the New Westminster Salmon Bellies. .352 remaining in the third period, just a moment away from getting back underway from the Q Center, and it will be Victoria possession following the timeout. Landon Lockwood is going to start along the near side. So Isaiah Gill comes in to close the gap a little bit, but Lockwood will remain at the perimeter. Ball goes over to the far side. Righty strong here for the Shamrocks. Pollock sends it over to Kinney. Ball remains far side. Ronan London from the corner. Now they initiate their motion here. Kinney shot blocked by a defender. That one stings. As J.J. Milne gets in front of that one, and he'll head off limping. A bruise that will certainly feel a lot better if his Islanders can head home with a win here this afternoon. But the Islanders will need another stop here off the interference call. Isaiah Gill tries a poke check on Quinn Cram, unsuccessful as Jordan Alexander comes in to take possession. Game clock now down to 3 minutes remaining here in the third period. Will remain 5-on-5. Kinney sends it down low to the corner. Wade to Alexander, followed up by a pass down low to Lockwood. Shot off the post, and Lockwood gets his own rebound. Fresh 30 for Victoria. Pass to the middle. Wrong-sided shot, or excuse me, wrong-handed shot, courtesy of Wade, stopped by Jet Burns, and the Islanders will look to clear center this time around. Elijah Gill leaps for it, keeps possession, and he drives down low on Phoenix Eves. He has a head of steam, shot, deflected, that goes wide. The official said it was deflected, but they'll still say it ends up as Victoria possession. Maybe a lucky break here for the Shamrocks. Dylan Anderson kept to the outside. Jordan Alexander takes away from him, returning it over to Anderson now. Over top, shot off the post, off the back of the leg of Burns and out the other side. A pinball does not go in favor of Victoria, but this bounce does, as the Islanders just give it right back to the Shamrocks. Game clock now down to 1:45 to play. Cram takes a high hit, no call. He gets away from the pressure. Leaves now for Lockwood. Far side feed. Finds Kinney. Driving low. Circles back in the far side corner. Pass intended for Wayne. Wade was well off the mark. And the Islanders now will get a free clear. 1:27 remaining. Still down by 2. Fake pass through the middle. Now back up to the point. It's Elijah Gill from distance. Ball goes over to the far side. Now down low to the corner. Shot stopped and absorbed by Matt Dennis. Jet Burns still in the net. The long stretch feed goes the other way on a breakaway. Twister stopped by Burns. Now down to the final minute of action here. Gill gets over center. Delta electing to remain 5-on-5 here and leave Burns in the net. Down by 2. Pass was off the mark. Weisbrod keeps after it. Shot clock now down to 10. Burt down and low to the corner. Devin Burt goes behind the net to Elijah Gill. Goes low. Shot on target. Stopped by Matt Dennis. And he collects it with the back of his stick. Now he sends it up the floor. Hunter Clark. One man to beat. Gets around him. Clark. Shot. Kick save by Burns. Game clock now down under 20 seconds. Turnover near the center line. And with the clock winding down here, maybe one last shot is Rintoul. Scores to seal the deal. 4.9 seconds to go. And Rintoul ices the game 9-6. The Islanders certainly had their looks, but just could not clean it up. Mostly on their breakout. Just turnover after turnover. And the Islanders coaching staff requesting to just run the clock here. But the officials will go for the final face-off of the game nonetheless. Maybe just to pad the face-off stats of one of these two guys for one more. Pickup gets the win. And that will close out the game. 9-6 is your final from the Q Center. And Victoria just continues to roll here, especially at home. They get themselves up to a 6-1 record on home floor and find themselves on a 3-game winning streak after this victory over the visiting Delta Islanders. But that's going to do it for now. From the broadcast booth. And again, a reminder to not go too far because we do have another game coming up in not too long from now. 4:30 is your start time. So a little over an hour before the Junior A Shamrocks will host the Coquitlam Adnacks. Again, 4:30 is your start time for that. But for now, we'll step aside. For the entire cast of characters up here in the booth, I've been Tino Farah, we've been BC Sports TV, and we will see you next time.